We drove to Katuna border last night to assess the situation after Rwanda agreed to open it at midnight on the 31st of January. A few kilometers to the border, we found Uganda National Roads Authority equipment clearing one section of the road that had sunk in. They are trying to beat the deadline of making the road passable before 1 a.m., the official opening, in anticipation that trucks would ply this route. The contractor at the border point, which is under construction, spent the better part of the night preparing a way through. I am at Katuna border, that is between Uganda and Rwanda, and it is 1 o'clock in Uganda and midnight in Rwanda, just right across. This is a remarkable moment in time for the two countries because they have been having a sour relationship that led to the closure of Katuna border for about 3 years. What this means now is that vehicles carrying people and merchandise will be crossing from Rwanda, and those others will be crossing from Uganda into Rwanda, and this route is preferred by many motorists because it is a shorter route to the capital of Rwanda, that is Kigali. In the morning, one truck which arrived at the border at 6 a.m. was cleared to enter into Uganda. The road on the Ugandan side is hardly passable, despite the contractor having been given 3 years to complete the works.
It used to be a small house there at the entrance. Now, within 2 years, if you have already finished the freight house and the offices were already occupied, and you're just left with just a road which trucks will go, I don't think we were unprepared.
Some of the Ugandans were crossing into Rwanda to visit their relatives, were first denied entry but delighted about the border opening.
Twasanyuse n'okulinya wano ku butaka obadde tolinyako naye kati tuli mu nsanyu wadde bibeerewo ki naye yagadde ngende Kigali kati tukuumye bye banaajamu bwe batukiriza tugende bwe batubakiriza tugendera ku mateeka.
Ekizibu kye tulina saawa zino munnaffe bamukiriza kuyingira naye ffe Abannayuganda batugaanye. Bakiriza Abanyarwanda kuyingira n'endangamuntu z'Abanyarwanda n'ab'ebiroole.
This morning at 11 a.m., customs officials from Uganda crossed to Rwanda to meet their counterparts. After an hour, the Rwandan officials escorted their Ugandan counterparts and bidded them a feast goodbye. No Rwandan official stepped foot beyond their border post barricade, a sign that it's not over yet.
So we normally have what we call a one-stop border post. So usually Rwandan officials come and work on the Ugandan side, Ugandan officials go and work on the Rwanda side. So that's what we're discussing in Rwanda. And we've agreed that that one is going to be reviewed in a week's time.
It was agreed that only trucks be given priority to cross.
Non-essential travel will be worked out in the framework of the two ministries of health. Otherwise, what is pertaining now is the protocols of the East African community.
The Kisoro district chairperson is not happy with these arrangements.
How can we allow planes to move between countries and we don't allow ordinary people to move across simple borders like this? Does it mean that only rich people who can travel by plane are the ones who are allowed to go and do other business? Other than then another thing is I want at least another thing to happen. Make sure tourism opens.
Later in the day, some Ugandans crossed from Rwanda into Uganda. Also, one vehicle with a Rwandan number plate crossed. They were both first directed to the tent testing for COVID-19, including immunization status. But this is how the tent on the Ugandan side looks like.
There were heavy rains today, and you see where it is premised, there is a construction site. So currently we are inside the one-stop border point.
It's not clear whether the Ugandans who entered into Rwanda will be allowed to move beyond the border. The opening came on the heels of a meeting between Rwandan President Paul Kagame and Commander of Land Forces, Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. Rwanda accused Uganda of witch-hunting Rwandans and incarcerating them without trial. Uganda also accused Rwanda of spying on the government. After over 16 hours of opening the Katuna border, you can hardly see people crossing from the Rwandan side into Uganda, and even the Ugandans crossing into Rwanda. Even the trucks, you can hardly see one crossing or plying this very route. Some of the critics are saying that this was a cosmetic opening of the border as both countries wait to sort out a few issues. Sudhir Yaruhanga, NTV at Katuna border, Uganda.